Hare Krishna. So, welcome to all of you on the Saturday evening program. The topic uh, for today is about how to prepare ourselves for perfection. Yeah. So, because Lord Krishna also speaks about perfection today, and Arjuna is also asking about whether the process what you are suggesting to me will lead to the human perfection or not. What if I follow the process at the end of the day, if I find out that I'm unable to succeed in this. Yeah. So this was the question Arjuna asked. So today we will go through these three questions. The same question Arjuna asks elaborately to Krishna in the three verses of Gita in the 6th chapter, 37, 38 and 39th verse. And the Krishna responds to the Arjuna's doubts. Yeah. So we will read the three verses now and we will discuss about it, and then we will see what is the Lord Krishna's response. Yeah. So Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayopeto yoga chalita manasah aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism? 38th verse. Kachinno vaya vibrashtas chinnabram iva nashyati apratishta mahabaho vimodo brahmanapati. O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere? ये तन्मे संशयं कृष्ण चेतुम् अर्हसि अशेषतः त्वद् अन्यः संशयस्यास्य चेत नहि उपपद्यते. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. So here, Arjuna is asking a very, very valid question. So if you see, Arjuna is asking, okay, whatever you are speaking, whatever the instruction you have given till now, Lord Krishna elaborately spoke the science of Karma Yoga, the science of soul, science of Karma Yoga, and then he spoke about the science of Dhyana. After hearing, Arjuna heard the science of Karma Yoga, which was a practical way where you can engage your senses in day-to-day work and again control the senses and surrender to the will of Krishna by offering the fruits of the results of your work. Yeah, that was the Karma Yoga. How to connect to Krishna by performing our day-to-day activities. Krishna elaborately speaks in Bhagavad Gita from chapter 3rd, 4th and 5th and concludes the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita of Karma Yoga by saying Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvalokam Heshwaram Sahridam Sarvabhutanam Natmavam Shantirachati. When we understand the results of all our activities is supposed to be surrendered to Krishna and should be used in the service of Krishna, that is the perfection of Karma Yoga. He elaborates again in 9th chapter also, Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yad juhoshi dadasi, yat tapashyasi kaunteya, tat kuru madarpanam. He says, whatever you perform, you do it as an offering to me. Yeah? So, Arjuna heard that process of connecting to Lord Krishna, developing relationship with Lord Krishna by performing day-to-day activities. In whichever position we are in, whether we are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Arjuna was a Kshatriya. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mama anuspara yuddhacha. Krishna says, fight, don't forget. Not fighting, but fight, remembering me. That is very, very important. Mama anuspara yuddhacha. Now, after hearing that, Krishna starts elaborately explaining the science of Ashtanga Yoga, where our mind becomes the driver of the Ashtanga Yoga process. Lord Krishna says in the 6th chapter, one who wins the mind, he has already reached me, because mind can be a best friend if it is controlled, can be a worst enemy if it is left to its own. So Lord Krishna elaborates more about how to control the mind, because for dhyana, most important ingredient is mind. So Krishna says we have to control our mind from disturbance of the outside world. Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, I can control the wind through my own arrows as a Kshatriya, but I cannot control the mind." That Krishna didn't say that it's okay, Arjuna, wherever your mind goes, you also flow with it, with the worldly enjoyment, continue to do the worldly enjoyment, and that itself becomes a perfection. Sometimes people have this doubt. Spirituality means have your experience in any quadrant of life. Keep on experiencing. Whether you are enjoying this world, whatever you do it with determination. Doesn't matter, there is nothing like bad activities or good activities in this world. Such people are there who are so confused in this world, saying there is nothing called bad or good. It is only your perception. Do whatever you want and become perfectionist in that. If you are enjoying, enjoy like anything. Become perfectionist in that enjoyment. But today, as an Indian, we are having a plate of those ideas which are vomited out by the Western ideology. Those Western people who actually experience this worldly enjoyment to the maximum extent, they living in that ecosystem which actually was conducive for sensual enjoyment, they did all those. 3 in 5 of such people are having mental diseases today. And I myself lived in Australia for 12 years. And those Western ideology today, our Indian people, youths, have taken that and in a golden plate, the ideologies which are vomited by the Westerners, and thinking that experience enjoyment unlimitedly, sambhog se samadhi tak. This is the problem today's world. Yeah? So, Arjuna is asking, what is going to happen if I am unsuccessful? That is very, very good question. But doesn't mean that Arjuna wants to run away from this practice which Krishna is elaborating today. But Arjuna definitely wants to understand what is going to happen if I am not successful. For example, in any material business work, if you are in a business with someone, you not only think about the positive aspects of the business where you are going to make profit, you are also going to think about the negative aspects of the business. What if we are not able to make profit? What is the exit criteria to leave this business? Yeah. Similarly, Arjuna is asking Krishna, because Arjuna understood that I won't be able to control my mind. But Krishna said, you have to control your mind. There is no other way. The spiritual process, prerequisite of the spiritual process is our mind. We need to control our mind. Man means one which is not mine. Mind is the energy of Krishna. So we need the help of Krishna to actually manage our mind better. That is where prayers come into picture. Spirituality is not an unscientific process. Spirituality is a scientific process because there are many things in this world within your own body which you can control. You can control your gross senses. You can tell your hands that don't move. You can tell your leg don't walk. You can tell your tongue, don't eat anything. Yeah, don't taste anything. You can do that. But how can you tell your mind, don't think? How can you tell your intelligence, don't use analogies? How can you tell your false ego that don't bring this in conflicts? Mind, intelligence and false ego is beyond our vision. If I tell you where is your mind, where are you going to show it? If I tell you where is your intelligence, where are you going to show it? If I tell you where is your ego, where are you going to show it? These mind, intelligence and false ego are subtle energies in our body which are invisible from our eyes, yet they are the most powerful energies which drive us every day. These three energies, there is no scientific process in this world which can control this. Hence, the only one scientific process which all we have to adopt is spiritual process. Hence, the spiritual process, the spiritual education is given in Bhagavad Gita, that all of us, doesn't matter how powerful we are, whether it is from a poorest person to the most powerful person of this world, he has to actually follow the process of spiritual education to control his mind, intelligence and false ego. Doesn't matter whatever the material opulences are there, we have to take up the spiritual path, because spiritual path is transcendental to our bodily platform. The power, the resource which we need to tap into doesn't belong to this world, that belongs beyond the modes of material nature. And that is available to us through the process of transcendental knowledge in form of Bhagavad Gita. Hence, it is very, very important. There is a vast difference, paradigm shift in chanting the names of Coca-Cola and chanting the names of Krishna. I don't think chanting the name of the Coca-Cola, your thirst will be removed. But chanting the names of Krishna has an immediate effect in your mind, intelligence and false ego. Iti shodashakananam kali kalmasha nashanam nato parataropayam sarva vedeshu drishyate. Hence, it is very, very important for us to understand, when Arjuna is asking this question, Arjuna understood that this process of cultivation of knowledge and the practice of the spiritual culture looks to be difficult. How am I supposed to do it? What if I fail in endeavoring in this practice? Very important. Once, Srila Prabhupada, in 1969, there was a reporter who came to Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada was in America and he was actually giving education to so many Westerners. So this reporter asked Prabhupada, you are asking these Westerners some things which never ever they are habituated to do it. In the plate of the Westerners in the morning breakfast, in between the sandwich bread, he starts with eating the meat. You are asking him to leave the meat. For a Westerner person, drinking alcohol is like drinking water every day. You are asking him to leave alcohol. For him, from the age of 13, he mixes with girls. If he is not going around with the girls, parents doubt whether he is really having the ability or not. This is my own experience in living in Australia. Colleagues of mine used to share how they used to be proud that their daughter or the son having their caravan in their backyard with their own boyfriends or girlfriends. They used to be proud that, at the age of 12, they already started mingling with boyfriends or girlfriends. So the reporter asked, you are asking them to stop mingling with girls, having an illicit relationship. How is it possible for them to stop? You are asking them not to gamble. But in the Western countries, our recreation is we go to the casinos and we gamble. So all this more, you are saying it as a forbidden activities. How is it possible? The reporter asked Srila Prabhupada in 1969. And Prabhupada smiles. And Prabhupada tells, it is possible, everything is possible when one chants the name of Krishna. He tells this authoritatively. And the reporter tells, what do they get by chanting the names of Krishna? And Prabhupada tells, they get an opportunity to meet Krishna and serve Krishna in the spiritual world by the end of this life if they become successful in it. If they are able to come out of all the bad habits, surrender themselves, doesn't matter whether they are a corporate leader, businessman, artist, housewife, or a proud father, or a teacher. Doesn't matter whichever occupation, duty they are in. If they are able to do it very, very sincerely, following the instructions of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, chanting the names of Krishna, living all the bad habits, and practice with sincerity, at the end of this life, if they perfect it, then they would be able to meet Krishna in the spiritual world where there is no birth, there is no death, there is no disease. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha antarshanam. Then the reporter asks, what if, Swamiji, you are saying you are going to meet Krishna. What if Krishna himself is not existing? What will be the destination of them? Prabhupada smiles. That's okay. Just remember how long you have been coming to the program and listening to me. The reporter said, from so many days, Swamiji, I have been watching you. How do you like? Swamiji, I like your kirtan. At the end of the kirtan, the amazing dinner you prepare for all of us, that I really like the most, the gulab jamuns. Prabhupada smiles and says, see, I have students here today. They all had all their bad habits. They have taken me as their teacher. They have left their bad habits. Some of them have got married. They are living together as a respectful husband and wife. Some of them have become a bachelor and trying to lead celibacy. Irrespective of whatever they are doing, please see that our lifestyle is very, very jolly. Those who are working outside, they come back. We get together in the kirtan. We chant the names of Krishna. We mingle with ourselves. We exchange our happiness. We support each other's challenges. We wonderfully sit together in a circle and have nice dinner prasad. We offer whatever we cook with the fresh vegetables. Everything we cook every day is fresh because we offer it to Krishna. So, whatever the activities we are doing, we are really enjoying. We eat fresh food. We have friends with whom we are happily chanting the names of Krishna and dancing together and enjoying our life. It's okay. According to you, if the Krishna is not existing, and if you think Krishna is not existing, what do you think about our life? We had our own life leading with a moralistic principle.
I have stopped sharing screen.
They are able to see my face, right?
Face your way.
Yeah, it's okay.
Screen sharing is
It's okay. They're leading their life with a moralistic principle and having a nice life as a family with their children, performing their day-to-day activities, taking a vow of having only one girl surrendering to her as a wife or a husband. Don't you think this life is a blissful? The reporter says, yes, Swamiji. And then he tells the reporter, what if, let me take your life, what if you do all kinds of heinous activities and at the end of the day, at the end of your life, come to know Krishna is existing, spiritual world is existing, and you are punishable for each and every activities what you have done. What is going to happen? So that was the wittiness of Srila Prabhupada. So today we need to really understand one important ingredient for practicing spirituality, that is faith. As I said last 2 weeks before, Lord Krishna elaborates in Bhagavad Gita 3 important ingredients. One is faith, another one is non-enviousness, third is not, as the path of surrender. Jealousy is so much ingredient in our life which becomes an obstacle for us to practice spirituality. So Arjuna is asking now, what is going to happen for an unsuccessful yogi who is unable to practice? And he is unsuccessful because of worldly mindedness. He becomes again attracted to the worldly enjoyments. There are many people who practice sincerely in the initial days who again go back to their bad habits. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, what is going to happen? So when Arjuna is asking this question, what is going to happen for them in their next life? Yeah, it's very, very important for us to understand. It is the process of reincarnation Arjuna is asking. What is going to happen in their next life? Yeah. So I'm going to now go into the next verses where Krishna going to respond. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Partha Naiveha Namutra Vinashastasya Vidyate Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschit Durgatim Tata Gacchati The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the Sanapruta, the transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities, does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. Please understand this verse. I'm going to ask one important question by going through all these verses Krishna is speaking. I repeat this translation. Sanapruta, a transcendentalist engaged in the auspicious activities. What are the auspicious activities? The science, Krishna is elaborating through the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Gnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. A transcendentalist engaged in the auspicious activities does not meet with destruction. Krishna is saying he does not meet with destruction. I will elaborate this. Please understand this. Krishna is saying does not meet with destruction. Keep this. One, does not meet with destruction, either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. Next verse. Prapya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashvati sama shuchinam shrimatam gehe yoga brashto abhijayate. The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into the family of righteous people and into a family of rich aristocracy. Last verse, Krishna told the person who actually performs the practices of the spiritual culture, he does not meet with destruction. Second, Krishna says they will continue their journey having taken birth in the righteous family. Righteous family means what? The family which already have a strong spiritual foundation. They take birth in those families so that they can continue from where they left. Next verse. Atava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimata etad di durlabhataram loke janma yudhishdusham. Or if unsuccessfully after long practice of yoga, that person takes his birth in the family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly such a birth is rare in this world. Krishna is telling now, having taken birth and they are restarting their journey from where they left in the previous life, such a birth, taking birth in such a family is very rare, because manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvatah. Krishna says 1 in 1,000 are such families who are having cultural system still deep rooted. Such families are very rare. If you take birth in those such families, you will continue your journey. Next verse. Tatratam buddhi samyogam labate pauvadehikam yatate chatato bhuya samsiddhau kurunandana. Translation. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. O son of Kuru. Next verse. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hi avashopisa jignasur apiyogasya shabda brahma ativartate. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Very important verse. So Krishna is telling such a person who couldn't able to complete his life performing Krishna consciousness practices, he was unsuccessful. Krishna in the first verse, he says, those credits will never ever gets destroyed either in this material world or in the spiritual world. That credit will be there eternally in his spiritual account. Second, in the next verse, Krishna says, he will take birth in the aristocratic family, the cultural family, where he will have a strong foundation to move forward from wherever he left. Third, in the third verse, Krishna says, such families are most fortunate, because it is hardly you will be able to get such a families in this world. 1 in 1,000. Manushyanam Sahasreshu. So he is the most luckiest person having taken birth in such a family where he can continue, because the foundation is already set forth for him to continue from where he left. If he was 60% successful in his previous life in practicing the spiritual culture, he will start from 61% in this life. That 60% will always be there in his credit. And this verse, Lord Krishna tells, such a person who failed in his previous life, he will automatically pick up the spiritual practices without even anyone telling him. Very, very important. Krishna here is telling, by nature itself they will be inquisitive. They will ask the questions which are coming to their mind, because everyone gets this question. I'm struggling so hard in this world. I want to enjoy, be happy in this world. No matter how much I try to become happy in this world, happiness slips away from my finger. I don't want misery, but no matter I close my door of all the doors of my houses, all the windows of my houses, from all the problems of this world, problems still come to me. Why? Today is a curfew. We don't want any sort of this living style, but this living style is forced upon us. Forced upon us. So, a inquisitive person questions. That is very, very important. So, Krishna is telling here, he will be automatically attracted with the Krishna conscious processes. Even no one asks him to do, he will pick up and start doing it because of his previous life practices. That is very, very important. So I am going to ask all of you a question. Please, you can put it in the chat. You saw these 4 verses Lord Krishna is speaking. What is one message Lord Krishna is trying to give us? What is that one message? Vinay saying it is not about destination of perfection, it is the practice and the journey of Krishna consciousness that matters the most. Wonderful, Vinay. You are wonderful. Because at the end of the day, karmanyevadhikarasti mahapaleshu kadachana. Yeah, we are supposed to engage in our process of Krishna consciousness. Not worried about what is going to happen in our next life. Very, very important. Very, very nice. Once a student of Srila Prabhupada asked Prabhupada, this is the life we are following. What if I am not able to succeed practicing Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, are you not enjoying the process of Krishna consciousness? The student said, yes, Prabhupada, I am enjoying the process of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said, please experience the divinity in following the process while we are in this world. If you are unable to experience happiness of practicing Krishna consciousness while we are in this world, then we will never ever be able to be happy. We need to practice and experience the happiness while we are living in this world. What is going to happen to us in the next life is we are not in the control. That is for Krishna to decide. Yeah, wonderful. Ramesh Prabhu is saying, even a small amount of devotional service done is useful at all times, including even in the next birth. Wonderful, Ramesh Prabhu. Meghana, we have to be Krishna conscious, whatever it might be. We should not wait for any chances. We have got the opportunity, so we have to utilize it. Wonderful. So many of you have is telling wonderful perspective of Krishna's words. These four the verses Lord Krishna is elaborating to Arjuna. One thing is very, very important for us to understand. This is what Guru Raj has replied. Yeah, Krishna is giving us a surety, the promise. So in the 31st verse of the 9th chapter, Krishna says, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashwatam shantim adhigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. What does it mean? Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Krishna says, if you are able to follow the dharma, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, all your, the challenges, obstacles, everything, leave it to me. Do not even worry. Kshipram, you will be purified in this life itself. Kshipram, at a faster speed. Kshipram means, with a steady fast. Shashwatam shanti madhigacchati. He will be able to attain Shashwata, permanent abode, where you will be able to experience peace and there is absolutely no misery. And he will be eternally happy in serving in the Vaikuntha planet. And he says, I am promising you, Kaunteya pratijanihi. He says, oh son of Kunti, I am making a promise in front of you. Name bhaktya pranashyati. None of my devotees who are serving me will ever be taken out from my vision. I will always be there to protect them in all circumstances. In the past times, Lord Krishna has done it for Draupadi, if you see. Draupadi, when Krishna took out the chakra to kill Shishupala, no one even noticed the blood coming out of the finger of Krishna, except Draupadi. Yeah? And Draupadi, everyone had all the garments in front of him. But why is that? Of all the thousands of participants in the kingdom, only Draupadi could able to feel that she needs to take out a cloth from her sari and run towards Krishna and actually cover his finger, stop the blood coming out. Yeah, Krishna, by taking out the chakra, he proved to everyone that he is none other than Lord Narayan himself. Yeah, but Draupadi, the burst of love for Krishna came out, and she ran towards Krishna to ensure that Krishna is not hurt. That is called bhakti, devotion. Yeah, and Krishna paid for this in so many obstacles Draupadi had. Yeah, he embraced her, accepted her as his own sister. Yeah, when she was in difficulty, he supplied meters and meters of sari. Yeah, name bhaktya pranashyati. If they have done little bit, I am going to reciprocate with them, and I will never ever going to leave them. This is the surety Lord Krishna is giving to Arjuna. This surety everyone wants in this world. Who doesn't want this surety? Come on. All the films are made for this surety, right? a boyfriend giving surety to the girlfriend. Film is made, and hundreds of youths and girls go and watch the film. Yeah? I was Googling and I typed Arjun and I Googled. And you know how many images came in front of me? Thousands of images. How many images were actually Mahabharata Arjun? There were only, 5, 6 of them. That is what it shows today. Google too is filled with what we think about in this world. And all the Bollywood movies, all the films are made of surety, right? The boy giving surety to the girl, girl giving surety to the boy, wife giving surety to the husband, husband giving surety to the wife. There is a song, right? ಆಕಾಶವೇ ಬೀಳಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನೆಂದು ನಿನ್ನವನೇ ಭೂಮಿಯೇ ಬಾಯಿ ಬಿಡಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನೆಂದು ನಿನ್ನವನೇ ನೀನಿರುವುದು ನನಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಜೀವ ನಿನಗಾಗಿ. How many of you heard? ಭೂಮಿಯ ಬಾಯಿ ಬಿಡಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನಿನ್ನ ಕೈ ಬಿಡನು. Yeah, so everyone. So how many of you liked the actor because of this song? Many, because of this surety what he gives in the film, right? ಆಕಾಶವೇ ಬೀಳಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನೆಂದು ನಿನ್ನವನೇ. Yeah, ಭೂಮಿಯೇ ಬಾಯಿ ಬಿಡಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನಿನ್ನ ಕೈ ಬಿಡನು ನೀನಿರುವುದೇ ನನಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಜೀವ ನಿನಗಾಗಿ. Those who are not Kannada speakers, here is the one film where the actor is promising to the actress, ಆಕಾಶವೇ ಬೀಳಲಿ, even the cloud falls, I will be ever you. ಭೂಮಿಯೇ ಬಾಯಿ ಬಿಡಲಿ, even let the earthquake happen, I will never ever leave you. I am there for you, you are there for me. But practically, if you see in this world, is it possible? We are all insignificant, very insignificant. Today, if a girl goes, or if a father goes taking the girl, and he says, I am going to give my daughter to any of the boys, if the boy can give a guarantee that he is going to live for 100 years. Which boy in this world, or which boy's parents in this world can give this promise? Very, very important for us to understand. But no matter how much challenges we go through, Lord Krishna is there in our heart and he is protecting us. You might be a husband or a wife or a father or a mother, but once we sleep, we are never ever be able to protect our children. When we are in sleep, who is taking care of us? Who is supplying the air? Krishna is supplying the air. Even you might be in deeply love with your wife or with the husband, but can we give a guarantee? If a child is suffering from malnutrition, mother can cook all the varieties of vegetables for the child, but she will never ever be able to ensure that this vegetable is going to fill this much of calories. But the bodily system designed by Krishna is in such a way that if the blood oozes out, immediately antiplastic will happen, and there is a system which actually controls the blood flow naturally through our WBC and RBC and all those things. The blood has its own. The body understands that there is a problem in the finger, the blood is oozing out immediately. Body produces certain chemicals which supplies to that particular part and actually stops the blood flow naturally. Even though the mother may be completely in love with the child, but she may not be able to protect the malnutrition of the child, but Krishna has designed a process wherein through the intelligence everything happens. Hence, it is very, very important for us to have a faith in Krishna. There is no scientific process in this world which can give any guarantee to any doctors in this world that he can actually save the patient. Yeah? Very, very important. Hence, it is very important, and Lord Krishna is giving the assurance. What is the first assurance Lord Krishna gives? Whatever you achieve in this process, in this life, okay, you are able to be successful 60%. That is fine, absolutely fine. Love this life while practicing. Don't worry about whether you couldn't achieve that 40%. Don't worry about that. You are able to achieve 60%. Enjoy the moments being in Krishna consciousness. Enjoy the moments of chanting the names of Krishna. Enjoy the moments of serving Krishna. Enjoy the moments of cooking for Krishna. Enjoy the moments of working for Krishna. Enjoy the moments of serving the community while you understand that they are all part and parcel of Krishna. Enjoy the entire process of Krishna consciousness. Even if you are not successful, it is all right. You will start from the 61%. That 60% is never lost. So Krishna tells in the 40th verse of 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Nehavi kramanashosti pratyavayona vidyate. Nehavi krama. In this process of endeavor, abhikrama, in this endeavor, what this endeavor is? Practicing Krishna consciousness. Pratyavayona vidyate. Nehavi krama nashosti. Whatever you practice, whatever results you get, it will never ever be destroyed. Nashosti, it will never be destroyed. Pratyavayona vidyate, it will never ever be diminished. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya, even practicing little in this world, trayate mahato bhaya, all the fears whatever we have, shoka moha bhayapaha, the symptoms of this material body is, it is a source of shoka, lamentation, moha, illusion, bhaya, fear. As soon as you have your body, these three immediately comes. Even an insignificant animal has lamentation, has illusion, has fear. You try to stop an ant, it will immediately change its direction. Fear. Everyone has fear in this world. Cat has a fear, dog has a fear. Human being has an unlimited fear. Why? Body is the source of this material body. Hence, the practice of Krishna consciousness is very, very important. There is a say that the success is directly proportional. The success is directly proportional to the amount of preparation we do in this world. The success, what we see, is directly proportional to the amount of preparation. All of us need to do the preparation. More you sweat on ground, the less you bleed in war. This is the instruction the army gives. The more we sweat on ground, the less we bleed in war. If we prepare ourselves on ground, when the war comes, we will be able to protect ourselves. Hence, it's very, very important for all of us to practice. Most importantly, enjoy what we practice. Preparation is very, very important. For example, a student who is in the 5th standard is able to answer all the questions what comes in the 10th standard He prepares. He is called as genius, Vrunda says. Intelligent. Yeah? Yeah, child prodigy. So if in a 14th year, if he is able to crack all the exams and he can get the masters, I have one of my friend in US, but the 17th year, he has passed all the graduation and the masters and he is a professor somewhere. He is called the genius person. Now, let me give another example. If a person at the age of 80, who is a doctorate, who has done the PhD, why those two people are called genius? Because they could able to foresee what is coming to them and they prepare themselves. They are called genius, right? A 5th standard student, learning 10th standard subjects and is able to answer everything, genius. 17th year, he is able to crack everything. Graduation, masters, he completes and becomes a professor, genius. A 80-year-old doctorate person. Now, he opens the rhymes book and starts learning ABCD. And he starts learning Baba Black Sheep. Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? What do you call that person as? Yeah, waste of talent. 80-year-old person who is a doctorate PhD, he started learning ABCD. Yeah? And if you ask him why you are doing it, he says, I am already predicting my life and I am already preparing for it, learning ABCD and Baba Black Sheep. What do you call? Foolish, stupid person, right? Why do we call this person as a stupid and other two people as intelligent? He also is predicting, they also are predicting. This 80-year-old is also predicting in another next few years he will leave this world, he has to start from ABCD again. We are telling him fool because he thinks he will be able to carry all the material knowledge with him to the next life. Yeah? For example, if you tell a rich person who is counting crores of rupees every hour, his asset is increasing by crores of rupees. If you tell him in few years of time, you will get into a life where you will struggle to even count 1 rupee in your hand. If you tell what he will do, he will faint thinking about his future. Right? So we need to understand this material education prepares us to only give some facilities to this body, which ends with this body. Beauty ends with this body, education ends with this body, the power ends with this body, fame ends with this body. If you have an YouTube followers of 10 million, if you leave this world, I heard in the newspaper just in 1 week back, one famous girl who was having 2 million followers in the YouTube committed suicide. Can she say that in my life I had 2 million followers? Let me start in my next life with 2 million one. They will say stupid. Why? Material possessions ends with his body. That's why the Alexander the Great, at the age of 32, he had won 80 kingdoms, traveling from 20th year to the 32, he conquered so many kingdoms. And while going after conquering all those kingdoms, becoming the powerful personality in the entire world, he was going back to his hometown to convey this message to his mother and to make his mother happy. Yeah, he was traveling back at an age of 32, conquering the entire world. He wanted to share this good news to his mother. While traveling, he fell sick. He fell sick and he was bedridden. He was bedridden for the days and days and days, and he found that he is not going to be alive. So he called all of his followers. He told them, please do me a favor once I die. So the first he told, ensure the doctors which took care of me, they are the only one who is supposed to lift my coffin. The second, when the coffin is put down in the earth, put a pathway decorated with all the jewels and necklaces to the coffin. The third, ensure in the coffin, put my hands out in the coffin so that everyone is able to see my hands. The followers were surprised. My dear Lord, why you are telling this? Alexander says, I was a stupid person in this entire world. I accumulated everything, all the powers by the age of 32. I had all the doctors in front of me. This is what happened to Michael Jackson also. He was paying millions of dollars to the doctors in his palace, but he died, even having so many doctors with him. So Alexander the Great said, I have everything, I had all the doctors in front of me, but still they couldn't save me. So they are the one who needs to lift, so that the entire world understands doctor will never ever be able to save you. Even doesn't matter how much powerful you are. Second, the grave, the path to the grave, if it is decorated with all the golds, all the accumulation what I had, whoever comes to my coffin, they will be able to see my opulences and they understand nothing I acquired went with me. Everything is remaining in this world. Third, the hands, when they see the empty hands, they understand I didn't take anything with me. This was the instruction he gave. That is why it's very, very important for us that we follow the spiritual culture, because the spiritual culture, Krishna, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. By practicing the spiritual culture, we are able to come out of shoka moha bhayapaha. Illusion of this world is very, very strong. It troubles us. You might have a 30 lakh car, but if someone buys the BMW next door, you will be jealous and you will be, you will be in fire, unsatisfied. That is the nature of this world. Illusion puts you in trouble all the time, no matter how much you make. Shoka, always you will be lamenting. You will be having, whatever we have, we are not happy. Someone else. That's why we always see what is served in someone other's table when we go to a hotel, right? So shoka moha bhayapaha. Bhaya, fear. Everyone has fear. Doesn't matter, because whatever the nature of this body is to give you fear. That's why it is very, very important for us to practice spiritual culture, because Krishna promises us, Krishna's words, there are so many words in, Bhagavad Gita where Krishna keeps on promising. Keeps on promising. He starts from 40th verse of the second chapter itself. Nehavikramanashosi pratyavayana vidyate solpam apyasi dharmasya. Follow the little bit spiritual culture. Trayate mahato bhayat. I will ensure you will be fearless. You will be able to destroy so much of fear in this life itself. Ananyascintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nitya abhiyuktanam yogakshamam vahamyaham. Krishna promises, Ananyascintayanto mam, if you are always thinking about me, Yejana paripasate, tesham nitya abhiktanam, those who are connected to me on every day, yoga kshemam vahamyam. This is the promise Krishna is making. Yoga kshemam vahamyam is only possible. I will fulfill what you lack. I will protect what you have. This promise only Krishna can give. Hence, it is very, very important for us to have faith in the words of Krishna, because Krishna is able to see us not only in this life, in the next journey as well. He will ensure that He will put us in the right circumstances where we can continue with what we stopped in our current life. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.